Vous avez un véhicule bien entretenu, en bonne condition? Ça tombe bien, c'est exactement ce qu'on cherche chez Gervais Auto. Paiement le jour même, transaction rapide et sans tracas. Pas mal mieux que sur Marketplace, hein? En février, faites affaire avec la référence en Mauricie. Rendez-vous sur le gervaiauto.com. En février, l'équipe Gervais Auto continue de grandir. On recrute des représentants des ventes, des mécaniciens automobiles et des pros de la finance dans le domaine de l'auto. Ça t'intéresse? Envoie-nous tes infos maintenant à rh@gervaiauto.com.
All right, let's find out a little bit more about the insurance situation. We've been getting a whole bunch of messages from listeners over the last couple of days about what do you do, right? If the food in your fridge and your freezer is going bad, maybe you've had a tree or a branch fall on your car, on your home. Let's talk about insurance when disaster hits. Pierre Babinsky is with us, Public Affairs Director for the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Hi, Pierre.
Good morning.
Listen, Pierre, I guess for today, for this Friday, maybe if you could tell our listeners what they should be doing, documenting, and keeping track of in order for them to have a successful insurance claim with all of the things that could happen in an ice storm.
Well, if your home sustained damage from a fallen tree or branch, obviously that's something to document. Take pictures. Call your insurer as soon as possible, especially if the tree went through your residence and there's a chance of further damage by rain or any other event. And also we're in day 2.5 of power outages, so perhaps contents of fridges and freezers are going bad. So what you need to do there, and that's covered by basic home insurance up to a certain amount. It's subject to the deductible, but if you do have a loss, take some pictures, especially if you have expensive items, lobster, filet mignon, and things like that. Take pictures so you document. And you can send that to your insurer. If your only loss is that type of thing, like the content of a fridge, that usually can be handled through the phone in a few days. So it might be worth it to document well your loss and have that ready for your insurer.
Pierre, let's talk about like a typical homeowner's plan. Does anything change when it's a disaster like this? When it's a natural disaster, quote unquote act of God, is there any other considerations that our listeners should know?
No, what we call acts of God are actually, most of them can be covered by insurance through the addition of some endorsements, but a lot of them, like high winds, the results of an ice storm like we just went through, are covered by the basic home insurance. So the only thing that would not be covered by the basic plan is if, for example, water is from outside is coming inside your home through the roof, through a window, through your basement. That usually is protected through an endorsement. But any water that comes from inside, plumbing, sanitary or other types of equipment inside the home, that's covered by basic policy.
So let's just talk about that because I know we've got listeners here. They've got some pumps. They've been pumping manually for a couple of days here. The water is coming in. They're a little bit worried about that. Let's say they've got that endorsement. They've got extra coverage. I know before you were mentioning, if there's damage to your roof with a tree and that could cause further damage with rain, to call in. What if someone is right now pumping their basement? They're worried that they can't keep it up forever. Should they be calling their insurance company right now? Could there be some help from the insurance company to get a generator or something to help them with pumping out water?
Not necessarily. In cases like that, the insurance is based on the fact that it will cover damages. So if there's no damage so far, then the policy does not come into effect until there is actual loss.
Okay.
So the municipalities may have resources, other levels of government, but it's not through the insurer that you might get that.
Pierre, just to wrap up here, is there anything we haven't touched on? Anything that you want to make sure our listeners know this morning, those who haven't been without power for a couple of days?
Well, those whose cars were hit by a tree or a branch should know that the minimal mandatory insurance that you need to be on the road does not cover this type of damage. You would need to have added what we call Section B3, which is basically covering the damage to your vehicle even through an accident without a collision. So a little more comprehensive than the basic is required to cover damage to your vehicle by fallen branches or trees.
Okay.
If people would like more insurance information, how to handle a claim, or even talk to one of our agents who can answer questions, they can find the coordinates and more information on our infoinsurance.ca website.
Pierre, maybe you don't have an answer to this, but do most people, just from what your knowledge, do most people have that type of coverage, that extra layer to protect them if a branch fell on their car?
Well, if you have a fairly valuable vehicle, I mean, over a few $1,000s, and you decided when you spoke with your broker or agent that you weren't comfortable covering your own damage personally, then you may have that added protection. A lot of people do have it, so it's really up to everyone to check their insurance contract or call their broker or agent to find out more.
Pierre, thanks so much for jumping on with us. I appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
That's Pierre Babinsky, Public Affairs Director for the Insurance Bureau of Canada.